Hold up! When you think of Lenny Kravitz, what's the first scandalously cool image that pops into your head? Is it the rap god with over 4 Grammy Awards and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? The man that doesn't seem to have aged a day over 30 at 60? Or maybe it's his reputation as the ultra-stylish, doting dad to Zoe Kravitz. But here's where it gets real. How did this legend handle the unwanted sexual encounter he experienced as a teenager? And wait, what about his tumultuous, drama-filled relationship with his dad? And maybe most importantly, what about those other scandals he has managed to totally shield away from the public eyes all these years? Seriously, with Lenny still shaped like a Greek god at 60, it's not even a question if this man is still living his best life. But before we start drooling over his insane body and his even crazier career, let's take a look at where it all began. Leonard Albert Kravitz was born on May 26, 1964 in New York City as the only child to the Jefferson superstar, Roxy Roker, and his dad, television producer Cy Kravitz. Now let's talk about his mom, Roxy Roker, for a minute, because this woman totally rocked. Starting out as an actress on Broadway, one day Norman Lear came to watch one of her shows. And let me tell you, he was impressed. How impressed, you ask? Impressed enough to ask her to audition for the role of Helen Willis in The Jeffersons. Now, with both parents being so influential, Lenny was opportune to meet Duke Ellington as a kid. And you wouldn't believe who not one, but 2 of his godmothers are. Oh, just 2 legends of all times, Diane Carroll and Cicely Tyson. Now, you must be thinking, with that kind of background, Lenny's childhood was probably a walk in the park, right? Well, not really. For starters, this was the 70s, and being a mixed kid with both African and Jewish descendant, yeah, that didn't exactly come without its own challenge. And while his parents tried to never raise him to differentiate people based on the color of their skin, the world didn't seem to get the memo. There's this wild story where a random kid screamed in fear just because Lenny's black mom and white dad walked him to school. Like, seriously, the 70s were unhinged. And as if all that wasn't enough, Lenny had to pay the price for his mom's fame, too. By the time Lenny was 11, it was clear the Jeffersons was here to stay, and he was forced to move with his mom to L.A. And swapping gritty, chaotic New York for the slow-mo sunshine of L.A.? Not exactly one of his best memories, but hey, at least it taught Lenny how to navigate extremities from a young age. Now, let's talk music. By age 5, yes 5, Lenny already knew he wanted to be a singer. Fast forward a few years, and L.A. basically became his personal music boot camp. Not only was he introduced to rock music, especially dazzled by artists like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Pink Floyd, but his mom also put him in a classical choir program that really helped shape his career. By 1985, Lenny was ready to launch. But here's the thing, the industry didn't know what to do with him. White producers told him his music wasn't white enough, and black producers told him his music wasn't black enough. Frustrated but far from done, Lenny went DIY. He started recording his album under the name Romeo Blue, rocking eyeliner and chasing the sound that was true to him. But when you're as talented as Lenny Kravitz, and you don't give up on your dreams, of course, you finally break through. In 1989, Lenny eventually found people that understood his style, and he got signed to Virgin Records. He released his first album, Let Love Rule, and while the US gave it a slow chap, Europe ate the album up. But the real he's arrived came 1990, when he teamed up with Madonna for Justify My Love. And let's just say, the industry stopped sleeping on Mr. Kravitz real quick. The song was a scandal in itself, with the video literally getting banned on MTV. And guess who wrote and produced it? Lenny. I mean, say what you want, but this man knew how to stir the pot. But while his career was soaring, his personal life was a whole other story. Now, what better place to start the Lenny Kravitz love roller coaster than with none other than Lisa Bonet? In 1985, Lenny was backstage at a concert in California when he met Lisa, the boho goddess herself. And trust me, the sparks weren't just flying, they were straight up exploding. You know what they say, when you know you know. And apparently, they knew fast, because by 1987, on Lisa's 20th birthday, no less, the two tied the knot. Talk about giving birthday presents a whole new meaning. And things only got sweeter, because by December 1st, 1988, they welcomed their daughter, Zoe. I mean, it was giving perfect family goals, but that cute setup was about to be ruined big time. Remember that steamy track Lenny did with Madonna, Justify My Love? Yeah, the one with a music video so risque MTV said, nope, not on my watch? Well, here's the thing. The song may have been banned, but it lit a fire under the gossip mill. And guess who the rumors were about? That's right, Madonna and Lenny. Now listen, we're not saying they definitely hooked up, but the timing was a little suspicious to say the least, because not long after, in 1991, Lisa and Lenny were done. Yikes, but our boy wasn't about to mope around for long. No, sir. In 1991, freshly single and still very much sexy, he was now in a full whirlwind with French singer and model Vanessa Paradis, but by 1996, the flame had fizzled. Now third time's the charm, right? Wrong. In 2001, Lenny took a swing at love again with Brazilian supermodel Adriana Lima. And let's be real, they were hot. They even took things up a notch and became engaged. We thought Lenny had finally locked in, but by 2003, once again, the relationship crumbled. Now we all have that one rough story from our childhood. And for Lenny, it was an unwanted sexual encounter from his teenage years. But here's the crazy thing, though, to Lenny. It seemed like he never really viewed the whole thing as SA. So, what exactly happened? In his 2020 memoir, Let Love Rule, yup, the same name of his first album, Lenny briefly described the incident. According to him, his parents were out of town and left him in the care of their male family friend. But here's the thing. The man wasn't about to be stuck with some teenager. He invited some of his friends over, and while Lenny was sleeping, a random woman allegedly snuck into his bed and touched him in a sexual manner. Now, any teen would have been traumatized by this, but not Lenny. It seemed like he wasn't comfortable labeling himself as a victim. Instead, he said he learned from the experience, taking away from the incident, that he should never coerce women. Okay, so this one had the internet absolutely gagged, because when Lenny Kravitz, yes, the shirtless rock star sex symbol with abs carved by the gods, came out and revealed that he had been celibate for 9 whole years, we were like, excuse me, sir. Come again? Like, what do you mean you, mister? I casually step out in mesh shirts and leather pants with 0 underwear, have been walking around looking like that and not doing the deed for nearly a decade, especially when there are music videos of you basically naked, oiled up, and grinding like you invented seduction. The audacity. But hold up, let's rewind, because this isn't just a Hollywood headline. Kinda story. No, Lenny's reasons run way deeper than you'd ever expect. First off, over the years, Lenny has been pretty open about his faith. He identifies as a Christian and believes in waiting for someone he's not just physically attracted to, but spiritually aligned with. Yup, spiritual soulmates only, please. But that's just one side of the story. The real tea? It all goes back to daddy issues. Now let's peek behind the curtain of the Kravitz family. From the outside, things may have looked glamorous. His mom, Roxy Roker, was everyone's fave on the Jeffersons, and his dad, Cy Kravitz, was a successful TV producer. But behind closed doors? Woo, it was messy. Roxy was the soft, nurturing boho queen. Cy? Not so much. He was strict, intense, and as it turns out, a chronic cheater. And get this, when Lenny found out, instead of being ashamed, his dad straight up told him he'd cheat too someday. Like, what? Can you imagine? Your own father basically cursing you with generational toxicity? But guess what? Lenny said. Not today, Satan. So when Lenny found himself post-divorce from Lisa Bonet and catching glimpses of those same toxic patterns in himself, he hit the brakes hard. Instead of him to keep following in his dad's footsteps, he made a bold move. Celibacy. Yup, he literally shut it all down and hit pause on sex just to break the cycle. Now seriously, if that's not healing your trauma like a rock star, I don't know what is. So what is Lenny Kravitz up to in 2025? Is Lenny still that larger-than-life ageless enigma who somehow manages to look like a sculpture carved by Beyoncé's dreams? Absolutely. Our boy is back on stage, rocking crowds on a worldwide tour for his 12th studio album, Blue Electric Light. Yes, 12th. Like, who even has that kind of stamina? He's serving electric vibes in Europe, lighting up stages in the US, and making us all wonder if he's sipping some top-secret elixir of immortality between sets. And don't even get me started on the coins. Because while he's out here living his best rock star life, Mr. Kravitz is also casually sitting on a net worth of a breezy $90 million. That's right, $90 million. Whew, someone hand me a fan because that's generational wealth and then some. Ooh, let's talk legacy, shall we? Because when it comes to Lenny Kravitz, the question isn't if he'll be remembered, it's what version of his iconic self will live rent-free in our minds forever. Will it be the award-winning rock star with 4 Grammys under his belt? who made genre blending look effortless and had every stage quaking in his presence. Or maybe the shirtless, sexy Greek god who somehow refuses to age. Like, seriously, this man hit 60 and said, "Watch me slay harder than your faves in their 20s. Or, plot twist, will he be remembered as the coolest celeb dad alive, the man who raised Zoe freaking Kravitz, one of Hollywood's most stylish, talented, and unbothered queens? Honestly, why pick just one? Lenny is all of the above and more, a walking, talking rock and roll fantasy who turned pain into power, style into a signature, and aging into an aesthetic. One thing's for sure, though, Lenny's legacy isn't going anywhere. Whether it's his music, his look, his vibes, or his jaw-dropping ability to make celibacy sound sexy, the man has carved his name deep into pop culture forever, and we're all just lucky to be living in the era of Kravitz.